Hello. Today we'll be looking at the Etnia Barcelona Constanza frame in color Havana and turquoise. I've selected this frame specifically because Etnia Barcelona does a specific pattern of color in their frames that I've been a little bit obsessed with for the past 7 years. Particularly in this frame, you'll find it in the turquoise accents, not particularly on the sides, but on the top here, and at the very tips of the temples here. I'll make sure to include some gratuitous close-ups so you can see what I'm talking about. It's almost as though it's some kind of hard candy, the pattern in the colors. Absolutely beautiful. Manufactured in Spain, Etnia Barcelona frames are renowned for not just the patterns that they utilize, but the variety and the multitude of color options for each model that they have available. Some models from Etnia Barcelona will have a dozen different color options. Not all of them, but a handful. They utilize a plastic called Optical. Established in 1849, Optical creates acetate, which is not petroleum-based, but actually extracts what's called cellulose powder out of cotton in order to create their plastics. The resulting plastic is very long-lasting, very eco-friendly, quite pleasing from an optician's perspective to manipulate and adjust. It's quite easy and it holds its form quite well and can create quite exquisite and beautiful colors. The hinge design of the Etnia Barcelona is a little different from your typical spring hinge. Internally, I imagine it's very similar, but I have a marked fewer number of spring hinge failures out of the Etnia Barcelona than I do any other spring hinge. Let's see if we can take a peek inside for just a moment. There is a screw here, and this screw actually secures the plastic of the temple over the metal. And if I give it a tug, it reveals the actual spring hinge and the screw holding it together. Normally this screw is hidden and captured underneath the plastic of the temple. It's an interesting design to try and keep the screw that holds the temple on captured and hidden and secure. And I find that with these screws going into the temple itself to secure the plastic sleeve, because they are horizontal and not pointing down, gravity does not work them out, and they tend to stay quite secure. Let's see if I can reinstall this one. There we go. Patterning on the rest of this frame is also quite nice. The tortoiseshell is a lighter tortoiseshell, which I tend to prefer. Darker tortoiseshells, when they're not backlit, can appear almost black. Lighter tortoiseshells tend to be more visible when actually being worn by a patient. And this pattern on most of the temple and here in the front is also quite nice. The layering of different tiny slivers of matsukeli acetate is quite beautiful. Overall, this is a gorgeous frame from Etnia Barcelona, with it being a high-to-bevel mount. You can utilize essentially any prescription in this frame with no issue, so long as you utilize correct high indexes for high prescriptions. Sizing wise, I would say that it is on the small to medium size. Somewhere in between, I would say. Not quite petite, but not a medium size frame either. Somewhere right in the middle. Let's get some numbers associated with that statement. Have an eye size of 54, also known as the A measure. We have a bridge measurement of 15, also known as the DBL. They're listing as 16. We have a B measurement of maybe 38.5 millimeters, and a temple length, they're listing of 142, and I'll say that's probably accurate. An absolutely gorgeous model from Etnia Barcelona. I would definitely recommend it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a pleasant rest of your day and a good rest of your week. Goodbye.